Hey, hello friends. Thank you for joining me today. I am going to do an unusual daily art adventure today. I am in one of my favorite stores in Raleigh, the most successful jewelry store in Raleigh, North Carolina, I believe, is Raleigh Diamond, owned by my good friend James Vincent. And this building, this beautiful, beautiful building, I'll turn around so you can see more of it right now, just happens to house more Dan Nelson originals than any other building in history, other than my warehouse behind my house, my shed, I should say. It's not a warehouse, my shed. And these paintings have been here for a couple of years, and we're still looking for a permanent home. If anybody, if you see one you like, please, please, please yell at me, and we'll see what we can do. Let me give you a quick tour, just for fun. So I don't get in here very often. You know, I'm busy, as you know. I'm working. I'm producing more art. Most of these paintings were done the year, for me, the year of the abstract painting, which I think was 2015. It's all getting a little cloudy right now. It might have been 2016. One of those two summers, the summer really of abstract. I did over 200 abstract paintings in one summer. Had a great time. Still love abstracts. It's one of the differences, by the way, between myself and say the Art Renewal Center, ARC, whose work and whose shtick, whose philosophy I very much affirm, I like, or the atelier movement. If you're not familiar with that word, atelier, just a French word that means school, but in America it has come to mean serious serious art school. And they're the people that, you know, you spend 6 months drawing nothing but in pencil, with drawing nothing but a plaster cast of, you know, Caesar's head or David's head or something. And anyway, it's very, very pedantic, very controlled. I love it. I love this stuff. It's a art renewal. They're in fact trying to renew the beauty of art that existed before the cultural, Marxist, revolutionary, adolescent explosion that we tend to call modern art. It's painting with a big brush. By the way, I'm thinking about writing a book calling Modern Art with a Big Brush. Anyway, or with big, it would have to be with big brushes, though, and that kind of loses the ring a little bit, because you can't paint all modern art with the same brush. There's many, 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 many interacting threads of sociological, cultural things happening in the world of modern art. Be that as it may, there are these small but very significant, very powerful movements against the socio-political propagandistic art that most of us know as modern art, the ugly stuff, and I do mean ugly. There's a lot of modern art that is not ugly, but the ugly stuff is in most of our municipal museums. There's a very strong kickback against that, as I believe there should be. In my opinion, the downside, the negative side of like the Art Renewal Center and the Atelier movement is that they are also angry, so to speak. They have aimed their guns against abstract, or more technically speaking, non-representational art. Okay, all art is abstract. All art, Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel ceiling is an abstract painting. I won't get into that because it's flat. And Adam laying on his cloud, being created by God, is not a flat being. He's a three-dimensional, so it's abstract. Anyway, I'm getting too deep. But the downside of these renewal, in my opinion, is that they're against non-objective art. That's a mistake, because the dividing line between good and bad art is not representational versus abstract. The dividing line is visual versus cerebral. How modern? See, modernity was man stuck in his head. I think, therefore I exist, therefore I am. René Descartes. That's modernity. Modernity, hyper-rationalistic, enlightenment, poison, so on and so on and so forth. I'm getting really deep here today. I didn't expect to do this, but it's coming out, so I'll let it come out. My contention is not against any visual art. Any art that's visual, I'm for it. Any art that is political, propagandistic, preachy propaganda, to use that word twice, sorry. I mean, I'm not against it, but I don't think it's a good form of art. Anyway, so abstract art is on the good side of that ledger. Abstract art is visual. So enough talking, enough philosophy. Let me turn you around now and just let you see some of my paintings. Again, sorry, hang on a second. I clean my lens. There we go. I didn't expect to do this. So there's one. Let me get to the angles. I'm not going to talk about all these, but I'll talk about them in general. I have a teaching called a class that I've taught a couple times. 6 categories of modern art. Okay, 6. No. I didn't mean modern art. 6 categories of abstract or non-objective art. Okay. There's a few representational things here as well, as you can see. But the 6 categories. Let me see if I can rattle them off really quickly. First of all, I'll give you in my list the first one, which is kinesthetic. Kinesthetic. That's with a K. Kinesthetic art. By the way, I just realized there's a little bit of glitter in that. I don't know if you can see it or not. No, probably you can't, but it's really beautiful. Kinesthetic art. I'll stop right with these 2 to talk about this, and I'll turn around so you can see me. Kinesthetic art is art that's largely based on the movement, thus the word kinesthetic, on the movements of the artist. The art reflects, in a very obvious or transparent manner, the physical movements that the artist made in the act of creating the art. Now you can see that that is so clearly the case here. You can almost see, these first movement marks that I made on this particular canvas right here were made with a rag dipped in acrylic paint. And you can see me just making, because I left such a clear history. So that's one. Kinesthetic. Let me turn you around again. Again, one more representational painting. If you see anything you like, let me know, make an offer. No reasonable offer will be refused. Then, of course, not necessarily in this order, there is the composition-focused abstract art. That is like the law of thirds, just the basic rules of composition are paramount. And number 3, I'm going to run out here. Kinesthetic, compositional, chance, things that happen by accident. And number 4, 5 and 6, I'm forgetting, but I didn't review for this quiz. I am very happy to say most of these paintings I am quite happy with. But let me jump to the conclusion of my 6 categories. The question is, which category is the best? And my answer to that question is all 6. In other words, the best abstract art, generally speaking, the best abstract art embodies or contains or reflects all 6 of those categories. So when I do an abstract painting, I want it to be part chance, part composition, part kinesthetic, and as soon as I stop this video, I'll remember the other 3 in a second, of course. For instance, let me point out, this one up here is, again, largely kinesthetic. You can see my movement. This one next to it, not so much, right? That one doesn't have as much obvious, it's a little bit more predictable, a little bit more static, if you will, whereas this one has more energy. It doesn't mean it's a worse painting, it just has a different feel. By the way, using in this painting a lot of the principle of design called rhythm. So those little dots looks almost like a ladder, or looks like a thread of film, right? That's a principle of design called rhythm, repetition. 2 more representational paintings. I'm glad to see these because I honestly couldn't remember where they were. Now let's zip across the beautiful store to the other side of the room. and point you at some of the other pieces that are here. While I'm here, I'll set it up. This is one of, again, this is a little bit older. This goes back at least a year before the others, where I was, some of my early dabblings in abstract paintings. Ooh, I like that one up there. And I came up with titles for all these because I don't like the title Untitled. Look at that price. That's ridiculous. $350 is absurd. Absurdly low. Anyway. Ooh, I like that one. I shouldn't tell you that, should I? I should say I like them all. Here's a couple cool paintings. Ooh, I like this one too. I call this one Confidence. I have no idea why. Just because I'm a person who's comfortable with words and letters. So I don't mind coming up with titles that are literary, if you will. I am not just a visual artist. That is one of the complaints that I often have with visual artists, is maybe they just don't have any literary skill, so they call their paintings untitled. But really, there's actually a socio-political reason why they call paintings untitled, and I'm not going to get in any more into it than that right now. Anyway, here's a nice big one, and I like it. I like it. A lot of, let me see if I can zoom in here, a lot of impasto. That's oil paint on top. All of these paintings, by the way, whoops. All of these paintings are acrylic, like all of my paintings, they're acrylic underneath and oil on top. And there's the last two. Again, I also like those. So there you go. Just for what it's worth, a quick tour of the one building in the world that has more Dan Nelson paintings in it than any other. And if you'd like to buy one, make an offer. Let me come over here, because I told you that small one over there is $350. It's a shocking low price. Let me find out what the prices I've got. So I've got this one listed at $2,000. Yeah, David, thank you for your chat, and I absolutely believe you're right. In fact, I'm right at a turning point in my career. You bring up a different subject. I'll reflect on it real briefly. I've made an okay living as an artist. We're not rich by any means, but over the 14 years I've paid our bills. And I've done that basically by working my butt off, by working harder, faster, and higher level of quality than, not a comparative statement, I don't mean that, not higher. I've done that by working my butt off, by working fast and hard and skillfully. And as a result, I've kind of placed myself at a certain socioeconomic, artistic level that I'm no longer happy with. So David, you're exactly correct. It's time for me to branch out. Here's another. I skipped over these paintings pretty quickly. Dang, that's a nice painting. But yes, evidently, I would take $500 for it. Joy comes in the morning, I've called that. Of course, you can call it anything you want. There's another one. I like that one a lot, too. Again, $600 for that one. All right. Now I'm just rambling. Thank you for joining me. Let me go back and catch the comments that I think I can do that here, right? Yeah, David. Thank you, David, my most reliable viewer. Yes, your prices are too low to show the values. Example, buying a BMW. Exactly. Thank you, David. I appreciate that vote of confidence very much. I really do. I'm serious, because that's right where I'm at. I'm in dialogue right now with some very good business people, not artists, who are going to try to help me make that jump to hyperspace, if we can call it that, where my paintings are actually getting the kind of prices that, frankly, they deserve. Anyway. That sounds so egotistical. No, but that's what goes on in my mind. Oh, what makes you think you're such a big shot? Bad inner talk. All right, this has been fun. Thank you. I don't know if I'm going to do another broadcast today or not. I hope I will. But this is different and kind of fun. And I'm glad to say I haven't seen these paintings for 6 months. And I'm happy to say when I come in here, that's right. Thank you, David. I appreciate that. I'm happy to say that most of the paintings strike me in a very positive way. So, like, whew, okay, I still like them. Okay, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.